One of the most powerful strategies I've ever implemented for my business was creating an Ascension offer, which has generated our company over $5 million in pure profit. In this video, I want to explain to you exactly what an Ascension offer is, how and when you should be setting it up, as well as reveal to you the number one thing you need to make sure you have in place before you even think about launching your own Ascension offer. For those of you that don't know, an Ascension offer, or more commonly known as a back-end offer, is typically what you sell your clients after they've purchased your primary or core product or service. Ascension offers are typically double the price and double the time of your core offer. So for example, let's say you sell something for $10,000 for 6 months, then your Ascension offer would be $20,000 for 12 months. Now, when creating an Ascension offer, it's incredibly important that that Ascension or back-end offer solves the problem that your core offer created. And some of you may be thinking, Ravi, why would my core offer create a problem? I thought that I created my core offer so I could solve a problem for my clients. Well, for those of you that have been in business long enough, you learn that there is no such thing as solving all of the problems for your clients or having all of the problems solved in your business. All you do is you just get bigger and better problems as you scale. For example, in our company, Scaling Systems, we build custom end-to-end marketing systems for our clients. So we build what I call a self-sustaining funnel that they can manage in less than an hour a day for coaches, agencies, and online service providers. But once we build, we write the copy, the video sales letters, we do everything end to end. Once we do that for our clients, they get that problem solved, their marketing problem solved, but now they have a fulfillment and operations problem that they need solved. And that's apparent because even in our own company, before I implemented the systems that we install for our clients, at one point, our self-sustaining funnel was creating us so many new clients that I had to actually turn it off because I couldn't keep up with service delivery and the operations on the back end. So I created a back end offer, what we call Scaling Initiative, which actually solves the problem of client success and operations for our clients once we solve the problem of marketing or client acquisition on the front end. And our clients are much more likely to let us help them install and implement back-end systems like client success and operations because we've had so much success installing front-end systems like marketing. Now, personally, my favorite part about a great back-end offer or an Ascension offer is its profitability. Whenever you are acquiring clients on the front end, you typically are paying anywhere between 30 and 50% for every dollar you make towards the acquisition of that client. You have ad spend, you have salesperson commissions, you have setter commissions, etc., etc., etc. So for every dollar you make, you're really taking home 50 cents before taxes. But when you create a great Ascension or back-end offer, you don't have a lot of those original costs, which means that your back-end offer could be 3 to 5 times more profitable than your front-end offer. And that's really how you start to achieve massive scale and start hitting the high 7 and even 8-figure run rates for your business. In our company, Scaling with Systems, we have about a 25% ascension rate, which means that 25% of the people that purchase our front-end offer ascend to our back-end offer. And our goal next year is to get that number up to 40%. So the question we were left to answer was, how do we almost double the ascension rate from our front-end offer to our back-end offer without lowering prices? And what we have learned after working with over 1,000 coaches, consultants, agencies, and online service providers is the number one thing that impacts your ascension rate is your ability to get results for your clients in your front-end offer. And the number one thing that impacts whether your clients get results in your front-end offer is what is known as time to value. Now, the rest of this video, you absolutely must obsess over time to value for your clients in your front-end offer before you can even think about creating or scaling a back-end offer. And the rest of this video is going to be pulled directly from a free training I put together on exactly what time to value is and how to shorten time to value in your company in order to get more results, which leads to more referrals, more back-end offers, and more profitability for your company. So what is time to value? Time to value is how long it takes someone after they've paid you to receive what they were looking for. As you can imagine, the longer it takes for them to get what they wanted, the less valuable that they find your product or service and the less money you'll ultimately make. Most people don't actually correlate client fulfillment with client acquisition, but they couldn't be more intertwined. Any fool can make money. And this is, I think, when I started in business, this is what I was doing. I was making money. I was hustling 24/7, getting new clients, those clients leaving, new clients, those clients leaving, new clients, those clients leaving. And I think that's how you get to your first few 100,000 and maybe even your first million. But to build real wealth, to build multiple 8 figures, generational wealth, like multiple 7 figures in profit after taxes, your current clients need to bring you more clients. I'm going to say that again. Your current clients need to bring you more clients without you having to market on your own. This will give you quadratic growth in your advertising campaigns. Let me walk through how that works. If every client you bring on brings you one more client, that means that when you're running these advertising campaigns, whatever your typical return on ad spend would be double. And then that person will bring on another person, because now the person that you brought in from ads brings on another person, but then this person that was brought in from the personal ads brings in another person, and it just goes on and on and on and on. And so you could have one person from ads bring you 10 clients, right? Because that person's bringing another person, that's another person as well. And this is not easy, but this is the most stable and profitable way to grow a business. And I have spent the past 12 months doing this for our company, right? I used to be very heavily market and sales focused. Now we are obsessed with client success. And it's one of our values. Most people just say they're obsessed with client success. Where does the founder spend the majority of their time? And for me, it's on client success, okay? And this all, of course, ties back to your ideal avatar that we talked about in week 1. If you don't have your ideal avatar dialed, your product or service will be sloppy and you won't get predictable results. Because if you're just helping anybody and it doesn't matter where they are, what kind of level they're at, what kind of previous experience they have, what their mindset is, then every single person is going to come in is going to need a different starting and end point, and that's going to be very sloppy and it's going to be very hard to get the same results. We have very predictable results that we know what the average person gets an ROI, when they get an ROI, and we know how much money they make in the first 30 days, the first 120 days, et cetera, right? Because we have very predictable results. And we're so specific with whom we serve that we can get an end-to-end marketing system set up in 3 days and guarantee our results, right? So one of the ways that our business was really able to grow was when we were able to stand out from the marketplace and do what typically takes people 4 months, and such as setting up an advertising campaign that's profitable or a marketing campaign that's profitable, and we guarantee money, 100% money back guarantee our results as well. So it's like, what people are taking 4 months to do, and they may never even get it done, we're doing in 3 days with 100% money back guarantee. You can't do that unless you're focused on time to value and you have a very specific avatar you're serving. And when you're doing this kind of stuff, this will lead to referrals, renewals, ascensions, which all increase lifetime value and allow me to spend more money to acquire a customer. Ironically enough, we're spending the least amount of money on ads that we ever have right now, but we're making the most amount of money because we're getting so much business from other sources like referrals, renewals, all that stuff, right? Now, there are multiple ways to shorten lifetime value, which a lot of them, like I've said in previous videos, are out of the scope of this content. We work on this with our clients and we will help them shorten time to value and optimize their business so that their offer is as optimized as it could be, as appealing as it could be, and so that they're actually delivering what they're saying in the marketing message. But I can't cover all of that here. I am going to cover quite a bit, but I can't cover all of it here, just to let you know. I would say that 80% of it is exactly what I talked about in week 1. So ironically enough, getting the shortest time to value is a lot less about like the best onboarding sequence and the best client success managers and all that. It's really about nailing your avatar, transformation, activation points, and mechanism. If you do that, that's 80% of the work already done for you, right? Because it's so much easier to help somebody who you know exactly where they're at and build a system around that than help anybody with anything, right? I would say that hiring and implementing client success managers, although very difficult to do at scale, as we're experiencing, is critical in any service-based business to shorten lifetime value. Ours are truly world-class. So the reason why we have a hard time scaling it and we just turn off ads whenever we don't have the client success managers is because ours are so good and we only let them serve 20 clients at a time. So after everything's optimized, said and done, they can only serve 20 clients. That way we make sure every single person is getting a daily check-in, accountability. They're getting stuff done for them. They have the time, energy, and effort to do stuff for them. They couldn't do that if it was one client success manager helping 100 clients and they're just saying hello once a week, which I see most people doing, right? But you can see an example of some of our best client success results inside of here. Here are literally all of the ring the bells that our clients are getting. And today is January 9th, so it's Monday. These are all from the 7th because my team doesn't work over the weekend. But you can see these are literally 7th, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. These are all the client wins that we're getting. We're updating these on a daily basis. Who else do you know is showing their clients wins on a daily basis through here? So we're not BSing you. We couldn't BS you, right? Because it's literally showed if we had weeks without wins, then you'd be able to see it on here, right? So this is why we have a shortened time to value, and this is why we have a world-class client success team, so that we're able to get results like that. Having your salespeople also create an alignment video once they close a deal. This will also help shorten time to value because now the client success team knows what to expect and can hit the ground running, right? So I'm going to talk about this in a moment here about one of the easiest ways and fastest ways I've learned to shorten time to value. But a great way to do this is that as soon as the salesperson closes the deal, just set up a system, whether it's through automation or forms or your CRM, set up a system so that your salesperson, before they can mark that person as done, shoots a quick 5 to 10 minute Loom video explaining exactly what they learned on that call, what that prospect is looking for, and what their recommendations were in order for the delivery, right? That way, whenever the client success person gets it, they know 90% of it. And I always allude this to, if you ever called someone like Apple or AT&T or, somewhere where you get rerouted to a BPO in the Philippines and, you're going after one layer and one layer and one layer. So you're explaining your whole story. They go, oh, okay, thanks for explaining this. Or you have to talk to another department. Then they connect you to another department. You have to explain the whole story again. There's nothing more frustrating in this world. So instead, your salespeople probably have done a lot of energy, time, and effort to understand that person and what their pain points and what their problems are. And so they can just tell that to the client success manager so that by the time the client starts working with the client success manager, the client success manager already knows everything. So it's, oh yeah, I know you talked to Connor and you guys talked about X, Y, and Z, and you said your biggest problem was this. Well, based on what Connor said, what I said, this is what we should do. Instead of, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself, right? That's not what we want to do because you've already explained it multiple times over again. Now, that being said, to make sure you do leave with something today, as is the theme of this entire action plan, I want to give you one of the most impactful ways to shorten time to value, okay? So what is one of the most impactful ways to shorten time to value? By far, the easiest and most impactful ways to shorten it, other than working on your offer, is by optimizing your onboarding process. We've literally had dozens of clients tell us that they would have been happy just to pay us to go through our onboarding process because all of them run service-based businesses. So they literally, I've had multiple people say, and these are people that have also joined our highest level program and said that I'm so happy I paid you this money and we don't even have to do anything at this point because I've already gotten the value just from seeing what you guys have done and copying that inside of our business, right? And the reason why the onboarding process being optimized is important is because this is where the majority of the progress will be made with your clients when they are just being onboarded, like when they just close, closest to the sale. This is when they're the most bought in and they're the most excited. If you wait to start really getting into the dirty work 30 days in, 45 days, even 14 days in, they've already started, regretting purchasing from you. They've already started focusing on other things, getting the other shiny object, whatever else it is, right? So you have to use that initial energy, that burst of movement from when they purchase that and they want to see this change in their life. You have to ride that wave to start delivering results as soon as possible, but you can't do that unless you get your onboarding down so that process is as streamlined and as bottleneck free as possible, which is what we're talking about here. The other reason this is important is because what you may or may not understand is that most people will base their entire impression of working with you on the first few steps that they do after they pay you money. And if you get this wrong, it is very difficult to fix it. So if you drop the ball when they pay you money and there's all this, you add them to a WhatsApp chat and you're emailing them back and forth and then there's a problem getting them access to something and all these things compound each other, the person's going to think this is going to be what it's like with this person the rest of this experience and I need to cut my losses now and just, stop showing up, right? Very similar to if you go on a date with somebody. Let's say you go out to dinner, you're on a date, and your date over there starts chewing with their mouth open while they're at dinner and they're rude to the waiter and, they're demanding that you do all these things and you just met this person a moment ago. You're probably like, I don't really need this, and you're probably not ever going to talk to that person again. Your business is the exact same way. right? So the question you need to ask yourself is, are you all marketing, sales, and no fulfillment? This is what majority of businesses are out there. Huge promises on the front end in order to compete in the marketplace and a saturated marketplace. Oh, we'll do all this stuff for you. And then as soon as they get in, you just hear crickets. All of a sudden they disappear, right? Are you their best friend until they pay you money? So are you like buttering them up, sending them personal stuff all the time, telling them, oh, we're going to take care of you. We have the best XYZ inside the business, blah, blah, blah. And then they pay you money and you disappear, right? And kind of going back to the relationship example that I gave here, are you a one-night stander or are you looking to build a beautiful relationship? So, anybody that has been in the relationship or dating game long enough, you understand that the one-night stands literally can only bring you so much satisfaction and joy. Sure, in the moment, it's great, it's fun, it's nice. But anybody here that's been in a really beautiful, long-lasting relationship, you understand the value of investing and the return on working with a person longer and longer and longer, and how much that can do for even yourself, not just for the other person. And that's what it's like to build a really great business and a really great onboarding process, is that if you aren't just looking to churn and burn clients, and instead you're looking for your clients to send you more clients, then you'll need to focus on streamlining that system to build that beautiful relationship, okay? So I'm going to walk through exactly how to do this in this video here. So we call the transfer from the front end sales to back end client fulfillment the handoff, right? And this is where raving fans are created or your customers are destroyed. We want the transition from sales to fulfillment to be as smooth as possible so you can start immediately working with your clients. Think of it this way. Here's another great example for you. I like to tell stories the way that I explain things. Think it that you walk into a restaurant, right? You've heard how amazing it is from all your friends. You're seeing all their ads online. You see their billboards everywhere. You see their social media. You think this is so amazing. You're greeted by a friendly and kind hostess. The ambiance is incredible. The atmosphere, it's popping. You see everybody's busy inside of there. She walks you over to your table. You think you're about to impress your date. You sit down and then nothing. It takes almost 10 minutes for your waiter to make their way to your table. Even if the waiter does an unbelievable job at that point, it will be almost impossible to recover from that transition between stages. Probably many of you don't know, but before I got in the online world and started my own business, I was actually waiting tables at an Italian restaurant in Atlanta, Georgia. And one thing I'll never forget is the general manager, Kelly, her name was Kelly, she would tell me that the most important time in your customer's experience is from the moment they sit down to when they first start speaking to you. So they told us, even if you were like running crazy between tables, stop by for 1 second and say, hey, I'm a little crazy right now. I'll be with you in just a moment, and then go on. That has been shown to save a sale or save a happy customer versus not saying anything and waiting until you can give them all your full attention, right? Now, obviously, restaurants are a very inefficient way to do this, so you can easily change this by running an online business and having clients as managers. But hopefully you understand the point here. So let's talk about how do you actually master the handoff, right? There are a few easy ways to master the handoff between sales and fulfillment. I'm going to walk through them for you right here. Number one, onboarding automation, right? So we want to set up different software and automation that takes the majority of the onboarding process off of the shoulders of the client and onto the client success team. For example, once they sign the online proposal, they're automatically sent an email with the onboarding form. Once they complete their onboarding form, they're automatically redirected to book their onboarding call. Once they book their onboarding call, they're automatically redirected to the online community. And each step of this process is streamlined so that you can get as much done using the momentum from the initial sale. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is their fulfillment process is bottlenecked by people on their own team. So they got to wait till the salesperson gets them access, or the client success manager wakes up in the morning, or the support team opens up their support tickets. And of course, that means someone could join. They could pay the price at 7 o'clock at night, and it's a Friday. They might not get onboarded and everything they need until your team comes back Monday morning. So what we've done is we've automation and software to make it so that our client can get everything that they need to at least get started without having to talk to anybody or do anything. Now, of course, I'm going to talk about some of the things that we do here so that we are communicating with them from the moment they purchase. But still, it's important that you understand that if you are bottlenecking that process, it's unnecessary, because we have an incredibly simple and streamlined onboarding process that people love, and it doesn't require anybody's input, right? The other thing is a sales alignment video. This is what I talked about a little bit earlier. This is where the beginning of the handoff occurs, and it's imperative that we add in as much information as possible about this client's current situation, their struggles, what they've tried before, what their goals are, promises, expectations made on the call, et cetera, right? Think of the last time you had to wait on hold somewhere only to be transferred to another department and repeat your entire situation. Don't do that, okay? So that's the sales alignment video. As soon as your salesperson closes the deal, they shoot a quick Loom video and they say, hey, this is the person, this is what they're looking for. They give it to the client success manager, and the client success manager knows as soon as from the first second they reach out to the client, they know everything about the client that they need to start their job, right? The welcome call, this one is very easy, but probably one of the most impactful ones because nobody's expecting it. We get this all the time. It's so funny. When someone becomes a client, have your client success manager pick up the phone and call them and welcome them into your journey. This is best done within an hour of the client joining, not an automated text message, not an automated email. Pick up the phone and have your client success manager call them and welcome them to the company. You can impress them with the knowledge that you already have on them, right? So you're saying, hey, I know that you talked to Connor and your problems are this. We're going to help you with that. So excited. All you need to do is show up to this call on Monday and I'll have this all built out for you, et cetera, et cetera. You can put them at ease, right? Because remember, even if they just purchased from you, they're still not 100% bought in. Even though they just bought, they're not bought in. Right? So you want to put them at ease. Hey, we're here for you. I understand where you're at and we're going to help you, right? And then you should tell them what their immediate next step should be, right? And just to be clear, the purpose of this call is not to solve all of their problems, okay? That is what the onboarding call and subsequent interactions are for. This is just to get them to the next step, whether it's filling out their onboarding form, answering any questions, getting them into the community, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So you don't spend, this welcome call shouldn't be a 45-minute call. For us, the average call time is like 7 minutes, right? You welcome them, you might answer a few questions, but you're not going to like solve all of their problems, because if you're doing that, that means your salesperson or your onboarding process, your fulfillment systems are not systemized enough, because they should already know what their next step should be. Okay. And let's talk about the onboarding call, right? This is the big leagues now. Similar to a first date, most people equate their onboarding call, how it goes, to the rest of the relationship. If you've done everything we've discussed previously, then you should be set up for success. But just like the restaurant reference, you could lose it all here. So if you botch this, it's very hard to recover this, okay? But if you get it right, everything else will be so easy, it isn't even funny. And I literally spend the majority of my time auditing onboarding calls and onboarding call plans from our client success managers. That's what I spent a great bit of my time on, making sure that how we're going to get this client started is exactly how they should get started. Even though my client success team is world-class, I'm always analyzing and auditing their stuff. That's the same thing our client success director does, because if we can get this right, it's like a walk in the park to get them the results that they need, right? And our goal in the onboarding call is not to become best friends. It's not to listen to the complain and moan about their previous, clients or people they've worked with. It's simply to set in motion the transformation, right? It is to take the first 1 to 3 steps, not to just plan the first 1 to 3 steps, but you talk about what you're going to do for the first 20 to 30 minutes, and then you start doing it for the last 30 to 40 minutes, right? So we're literally taking it. And I always tell people that we get more done on their onboarding call than they've been able to do in their business in the previous 6 months. And not only that, we're getting done the most important things that need to get done, okay? I cannot stress how important it is to get something done. I've said that 4 times now, but don't just talk about it. If you get off the call and there's no movement, that the needle has not been moved, that's a good onboarding call, but it's not a great one. It's not a world-class one, which is what you want if you're trying to build a world-class company, okay? So the first 5 minutes should be spent, make sure they have access to everything. Hey, do you have access to the online community? Here's my one-on-one call link, et cetera, et cetera. And the last 55 minutes should be spent implementing. That's as simple as it should be. At the end of the onboarding call, your client should have incredibly clear next steps and your next meeting already scheduled. So our client success managers, they have literally a roadmap that they give. They put it inside their private Slack channel, and we already have the next meeting scheduled. So that way we have a deadline of when these things have to be done. Okay. So wrapping it up, please spend some time prioritizing decreasing time to value by improving your onboarding process experience, right? This will have a direct impact on the growth of your business. Now, if you're a coach, consultant, agency, or online service provider, and you're experiencing any one of these problems I'm talking about in this video here, whether it's marketing systems, having trouble getting more clients at scale, or it's even client success or operation systems, right? How do you shorten that time to value? How do you create back-end offers? How do you manage teams, create organizational charts, et cetera, then I'd love to invite you to go below this video and book a call with myself or one of our team members. We're not your typical course or coaching program. We do the majority of the heavy lifting lifting for you. We write the video sales letters for you. We write the advertising copy for you. We structure what I like to call the self-sustaining funnel for you. And then on the back end side of things, we'll actually help you launch your Ascension offer. We're going to give you the copy and paste systems that we've used to manage over 1,000 clients and so much more. So you have nothing to lose. I suggest you go below this video now, book a call to speak with myself or one of our team members. We're going to do a deep dive audit for your business on that call and let you know exactly what the next step should be if you choose to work with us.